What's good, people? Long time no speak. We didn't even gotta really talk about it like that. But we can talk about it. Either way, it's been a while. As you can see on the screen, Demoniacal Fit, as always. We start off with Demoniacal Fit first, and then we move on from here. And just a heads up, two things. This video is gonna be mad long, because I checked and saw the last video that I made, and I was like, it's probably been about a month. It's literally almost been 2 months, you know? So yeah, I gotta get back on it, and I'm trying to get back on it. I've been more consistent with my Instagram, which we're gonna talk about that after this segment. But either way, Demoniacal Fit, they plan to do their Demoniacal Fit wild card. So basically Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Now I think this looks great. We're gonna just scroll up real quick. I think it looks good for the most part. I say great, good for the most part. The biggest thing is the head sculpt. They need to workshop that head sculpt, you know? Other than that, I guess if you got the Kong Studio Vegeta, which not too many people were very high on, you could hopefully we could rely on my good man AFM Customs, and he could provide like some type of a conversion pack, or maybe he has one that would already work, you know, because sometimes he doesn't even really need to make a new pack. They use some of the same packs. Either way, this looks good. Let me see, what is it? I'm gonna scroll back real quick. It just says release date is gonna be later this year. So yeah, very vague, but we'll see what that turns out to be. So a re-release of the Demoniacal Fit Untamed Power Unleashed will be available soon. Once again, very vague. This was July 13th. So I'm assuming soon means within, well, we're already in August. This is August 1st as I'm recording it. It probably will be uploaded tomorrow once it's all said and done. Either way, it's Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Tamashi, it's actually been a little while since they re-released this Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So I wonder if this is like a, you know, like a hint that Tamashi will re-release that soon, because Demoniacal Fit does tend to have inside information and whatnot. So, you know, in order to beat another company to the punch, they'll do something like that. Hey, we're gonna release this, you know, to capitalize off of sales and hype. Either way, would you look at it? It's a rock. It comes with a rock. Now I know that's not a big deal, of course, and I believe didn't the last release come with it as well? Either way, I'm just so used to Tamashi showing off like a rock in a promo picture. You character looking cool standing on the rock, only to find out it don't come with the rock. Come on, man. Either way, let's move right along. Gohan Beast. Now this is a render. At least over here, I was gonna say at least the other two were physical physics, really, physical figures. Another product to release this year. I'm chuckling because of the name of the product. Demoniacal Fit Pharaoh Scream. I was gonna do a Pharaoh Scream, but I don't want to hurt your ears. Either way, I love Demoniacal Fit's naming schemes. As far as the hair sculpt or what have your head sculpt, it's fine. You know, I think there's plenty of great options at this point in time. So just take one of those options and put it on this body. You good money. You feel me? Like I said, they saying it's gonna launch later this year. Who knows when that'll actually, you know, manifest, because when it comes to third party, I used to always harp on Demoniacal Fit, but I feel like they've gotten better as of late, and probably the last year or two they've been a lot better about releasing their stuff. But with third parties, if they say they're gonna release it in August, maybe expect it in October or something like that, you feel me? But let's move right along. And what do you know, now this is something I'm more interested in right here, because I know that Tamashi would never make anything like this, because it's fan fiction. Even though, you know, this is one of Toyotaro's first characters. He's from Toyotaro's version of Dragon Ball AF, you know, Zycor. But as they calling it, Demoniacal Fit Unclean Blood will be available soon. And I think this is more or less because they, once again, Demoniacal Fit capitalizes off of whatever is going on. So for example, Beast Deity is re-releasing their Zycor under the, what's the company that they do now? I mean, the company, the re-release that they do their re-releases under. What's the name? Lionheart Studio. They're re-releasing their Zycore. So I'm sure once that is available, this will be available and in stock. So, you know, look forward to that if you're into like fan fiction stuff. I actually like this version better. I think it's more accurate to what Toyotaro drew. At least the head sculpt is, and the body's, of course, good enough. There's your spread of accessories. Not a whole lot. Pretty, you know, bare minimum. But it works. That being said, let's move on to the next thing. Now, moving right along, we have the YGMW Vegito figure. Now, this is basically the same Vegito figure that they released, what, like 3 or 4 times? By now, they did like I would say, San Diego, no, not in San Diego, New York City Comic-Con version, except it was on a 3.0 mold and whatnot. But basically, this is supposed to be your Genki Matsuri colorway. And yeah, it's cool. This is one of those things you can either take or leave. You know, this is not the must-have. You feel me? But either way, that being said, I just want to do a quick promotion, and that is of my Instagram. You know, right now I'm trying to grow the Instagram, and to be very transparent with you, I want to have it monetized. You feel me? So go check it out. If you see something that you like, if you like my style of toy photography and edits and whatnot, go check it out. Now, while I'm here, I also would like to talk about another person's page. So, Escape7979. This guy is a beast. I have not seen anybody else in terms of, you know, doing Dragon Ball photography and whatnot. I've not seen anybody else do like his figures and the style, his customs and whatnot. I've never seen anybody do it in a style that he does it. He is truly one-on-one unique. Now, I went back, I was talking with him, he was like, dude, you know, because he's a very humble guy. He's like, you know, you don't have to promote it if you don't want to. Like, if you only promote it if you actually like it. Bro, I like it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Matter of fact, it was one time, and I'm not gonna stay here too long, but it was one time somebody DM'd me and was like, I forgot who it was. Damn, I'm forgetting your name. He was like, is this gonna be like an actual cut, like figure released? Or it was something along the lines of either that or, hey, if this was an actual mass release, I'd buy it in a heartbeat. So that's how you know your shit fire. That being said, I'm gonna move right along. That was the little promotion that I mentioned in the beginning of the video. On to the next thing. So here we have the Dimensionia. I don't even know what Masked Hero. Okay, I was about to say, what are they calling it by default? So basically, you're beginning the Blue Saga Gohan where he had on his Great Saiyaman outfit without the helmet and whatnot. This looks pretty good so far. Now the render looks good, and as we go through all the pictures, right, we're gonna see, so it's 3 variants: lighter color, darker color, and then of course straight up just spandex right here. That spandex one is definitely gonna be good for custom. Now, let's see. And by the way, that was posted by Dimensionia themselves. You got to go check it out. They page. As far as, okay, here's all the accessories. Jeez, I don't even feel like going through all that. But as you can see, a very large spread of accessories. That is for, this one is KT004. That's all coming with, I guess, the darker green one. There's the lighter green one. And of course, the Just Spandex one comes with the least, because that's all it's going to come with. Either way, it looks pretty good. Now, I will say Dimensionia, I have their Goku Black figure. It does feel very good in hand. Feels like a very solid figure. Doesn't feel cheap or anything like that. I would just adjust some of the articulation and things like that. But either way, I'll save that for a review, right? And in the meantime, you can look at some of the pictures that I have posted, you know? Let's see, is this more of the same? This looks like, okay, close-up shot, Super Saiyan, looking down face. Everything looks solid, but some things can be adjusted. I think, okay, that's probably the best, and out of all the hairs, the most accurate hair right there. Super Saiyan, I think, could be adjusted. Super Saiyan 2, I think, could be adjusted. Is it a huge deal? Is it terrible? Hell no, it's not terrible, but it could be adjusted, you know? The helmet head is the helmet head. I would probably never use the helmet head like that, except for something, if I think of something very specific in terms of photography. Either way, let's move right along. There you go, side by side, another close-up shot. And by the way, I'm not mentioning the name of these pages. Joy Boy Toy is this guy here. And then Kang Dragon Ball Toy. Of course, go check them out. And also they have an AliExpress store. Of course, Korea News. I should have double checked some of this stuff because some of these pictures are repeating. But Treasure Toy Store. And here's some of the printed out stuff. Now, something that you'll notice with the printed out stuff, it feels like he's a little bit too broad in the chest, like shoulder area. You know, it's like the proportion feels slightly off. Now, it's like, oh, you can see it, I would say especially here. Now, I know Dragon Ball characters tend to have the broader shoulders with the tapered waist, but something just feels just a bit too exaggerated here, you know? Like I said, it's not terrible by any means, but it can be adjusted, especially before release. So we'll see if it's actually adjusted before release. I notice a lot of these companies tend not to adjust it, especially if it's already being printed out and tested. I notice they tend not to change anything, so I'm not gonna hold my breath for it. But either way, let's move right along. Let's see. More. Oh, I feel like right here once again, and maybe it's because of the particular pose, but you could definitely see it looks a little off proportion wise. Either way, definitely I think there's going to be a hit release among people, especially with, like I said, the Goku Black feels very solid in hand, it feels good, feels quality. So we'll see how it actually turns out for this, because you could have one good release, one bad release. We'll see. On to the next thing. Moving right along, we have the MP model Vegeta. I said Vegito. And of course they say MA Studio, but everybody I see is calling it MP model or MP Studio. So I'm just gonna go with MP Studio. This is from the page JS Figure Shop. And here's some in-hand pictures of this Vegeta. I've been waiting for this. Might end up being the definitive Vegito. We'll see. Now, funny enough, I mentioned that broad look in the last segment, and this Vegito has that, but I feel like it, once again, feels more proportioned here, you know? And this looks great. Like I said, this could end up being the definitive Vegito right here. We'll see once it's in hand. We'll see how the quality of the figure feels and all of that good stuff. Here we have some close-up shots, and it looks good. Even the faceplate looks fantastic, I think. Hair looks great. That's a repeat picture. Some of these might be repeat pictures, but we'll go through them anyways real quick. And there's the head sculpt, faceplate, his beam sword effect, like he's stabbing Buhan, and some in color stuff right there. So we'll see. Like I always say, we'll see how it actually turns out. But so far, it's shaping up to be really nice. On to the next thing. Okay, moving right along, we on Hobby Model Store's page, and they got some Goku head sculpts for us. Yay! I'm sure some people are like, yay! Who cares, right? Just gonna cover it real quick. More Possibility X DDG, and not the one that beefs with Soul Illuminati. Okay, that was corny. Either way, looks good, looks great. I would say, yeah, looks good, looks great. That's why I wanted to say DDG. I love that head sculpt. The head sculpt that they Super Saiyan Goku head sculpt that they released standalone. I have some pictures on my page once again. That looks dope, and I had to do a showcase for it at some point in the future. Got the regular blonde, pale blonde, and of course the head sculpt for your Genki Matsuri Goku. So if you're interested in that, check it out. It's not really giving us a date or anything like that. So either way, you know, be on the lookout for it. I'm sure it'll pop up at some point. Like I said, you never know with these third parties. They say, hey, it's gonna be released at the end of the year, and it's going into the end up being next year, almost at the end of the first quarter. So we'll see how these things turn out. On to the next thing. Okay, so moving right along, we have the XF Studio High School Uniform. I was about to say Gohan, and it looks good so far, right? And I believe my good man Korea News, matter of fact, I know that Korea News definitely posted an update in their Insta story, and I think they need to. Future Bombastic speaking, real quick, I just wanted to clarify. The screenshot that I have on the screen right now is not the same screenshot that I saw in the story. What I saw in the story was a bit more unrefined, and I'm thinking that was probably an older render. I don't know why I was thinking that was like the newer version, but what we see here, the comparison picture here that we see is definitely much better. I would still say they could stand to pinch the hips in some more, but definitely more refined and whatnot. Taper the hips in if they're going to use that hip flap design, but they didn't really need to do that. It looked pretty good right here. You didn't need the hip flap design. Either way, it looks solid so far. As we get more updates, I'll keep y'all updated. Doesn't seem to have a release date, but it also seems very early in its development. Until we see something printed out, I consider it pretty early. But let's move right along. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are in the Goku Black era. Again. And oh yeah, we on the Dragon page again. This is a new studio, never heard of them, KK Studio. I will say it does look good what they got going on. Matter of fact, hold on real quick. So 7 base, that's okay. And one thing right here, I'm happy that these head sculpt kits are having more face plates, you know, being put into the packaging with them. Because before, if y'all remember, anybody that's been here for a little while, it used to be like 3 or 4. Now you're getting like 7, and I'm seeing that more frequently. You get 6, 7. Oh my goodness, I legitimately did not mean to do that. I legitimately did not mean to do that. Either way, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. I'm not gonna say the numbers again. But you're getting more with these kits, you know, and it looks like this is all one kit. So you're gonna have the non-transparent hair, you're gonna have, you know, the transparent hair. So that's really dope. The only other studio I've known to do that, actually, wait, I'm trying to remember, the MP model do that with their Broly stuff? I feel like they did. Like they gave you the transparent hair and the non-transparent hair in the same packaging. And then they just did 2 separate releases, you know, green hair and yellow hair. Either way, off topic. Let's move right along. Actually, let me see if I could get y'all some close-up pictures of this particular head sculpt. Hold on. Okay, so here's what I was referring to. Some close-up pictures, and it looks great. I think this is one of my favorite, just overall Super Saiyan head sculpts for Goku. It feels like a regular Goku head sculpt. Definitely. Yeah, really dope. But it's so many. It's just at this point, and as I said way in the past, it's gonna get to a point where it's not even gonna matter the quality of the head sculpt, because everything's gonna be relatively the same. It's gonna be a matter of what art style do you like, you know. But that being said, let's move right along. So this one right here is literally fresh off the presses. We have somebody doing, well, not somebody, SM Studio, and see what I mean by they just started saying choose 2 letters, studio, call it a day. But we have the Capsule Corp Geek Goku. This is something I've been waiting for forever, an updated mode for a Capsule Corp Geek Goku. Now Kong did one back in the day. By today's standards, that shit ass cheeks. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, that shit butt. But anyways, we have the blue version and we have the orange and black version. I'm more partial to the orange and black version, but as we all know, orange is the new black. What does that have to do with anything? I don't know, but I'll tell you what has to do with this. It says 1 body, 2 skirts, 2 belts, 7 pairs of hands. Now, so far we just see the body, and let me do the little read up. Doesn't say anything about a head sculpt, but it does say that it's gonna be mostly compatible with, you know, 4.0 head mode, whatever the socket is. But that's okay, because we have AFFM customs, so that's hardly a worry. In terms of the head sculpts, I'm assuming that'll come with head sculpts. If it truly is just the body, that would be disappointing. But I'm assuming it'll come with head sculpts, because it was that one studio. My bad, I'm a little congested, so just bear with me. They said, oh, you know, we're gonna have the battle damage. Oh, it was Black Shark Model, and we're gonna talk about them later in the video. Black Shark Model is like, you know, we're gonna do the battle damage body, and it's just gonna be the body. And then it was like a day later, a couple days later, 5K Toys was like, hey, everybody's pre-orders updated with a base Goku head. It was like, man, nigga, if you don't get your, man, that should have been there. Don't promote it like it's a bonus. Come on now, we smarter than that. And I expect something similar to happen with this, but we'll see. Time will tell to tell. But that being said, like I said, I'm stoked for this. Definitely super hype. You'll probably see 1,000,001 pictures of this once I have it in hand. That being said, let's move right along. Okay, so moving right along, we got a blockbuster reveal here. Now, of course, this hasn't just been revealed. Of course, I usually wait for a lot of stuff to pile up, and then I do a one, like you see right now, one big video. We have the Dragon Ball Heroes powered up Janemba. I don't even know what they call that version of Janemba, but by PC Toys, Lizard Warrior. Mad basic, but I get why they do it. You get several head sculpts, and then of course you have the regular Janemba, several head sculpts, several hands, a sword, the dimension effect. Yeah. Now here's some printed out prototypes. Looks good thus far. We'll see how it actually comes out. And speaking of Janemba, we actually got some official word, like from Tamashii, about a Janemba. But we're going to talk about that in the Tamashii video when I get to recording that. But for now, we're on third party right now. That's another look. And by the way, who was this page? That's Korea News. The first one was Dragon. I tried my best to, say where I got it from. We got M. Hyrule right here. We got some pixeled out renders. There you go, the printout. There goes the, Janemba next to Goku. Another look at Janemba hand posing. It looks like the face is purposely obscured in each of these pictures. Either way, here we have the actual renders of the faces. Faces look like they could be adjusted a bit. Doesn't look terrible, but it looks like it definitely be improved upon. That being said, like I said, box office right here. This is gonna go hard. Now, one thing I will say in regards to this release, now that we know that Tamashii is going to potentially be releasing a Janemba, it's already in first place for that poll. How are they gonna handle that? Because it's rare that third party directly competes. They usually put stuff out like way earlier than Tamashii, and then by the time Tamashii rolls around, the people that didn't get the third party, they'll either get that, or sometimes they just say, I think I'll wait for Tamashii. And in this case, somebody could say, I think I'll wait for Tamashii. I only say that because as much shit as Tamashii, people give Tamashii, because it's the cool thing to, hate Tamashii. In a way. A lot of it is justified, but what I mean by that is this, right? Tamashii, if it's anything you could give Tamashii, is the fact that they nailed the villains. The villains be on point in terms of the sculpt and how they look and aesthetic. The main thing I would say they'd be lacking is accessories usually. And I think usually the QC is pretty good. In my personal experience, at least. But how they going to compete with Tamashii? Otherwise, they're going to get boxed into the dirt. But also, if Tamashii's is a premium band, I guess that none of that really matters at the end of the day because, well, I don't know. I was going to say it'll be more readily available, but even third-party stuff be low-key like a premium Bandai Light in the sense that if you didn't pre-order it, you're going to have to pay the upcharged price if you really want it. You could also just not decide to pay that money. Either way, you get the point. Let's move right along because I'm rambling. So moving right along, what we have is GX, and that's it. They don't even bother to put the studio, just GX. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, Generation X. All right, let me stop. But this is definitely a very unique release, unexpected release. Buff Master Roshi. Never would have expected something like this to come out at this point in time, because as I always say, Saiyans sell, and it's not like Buff Master Roshi is one of those box office characters that people are clamoring for. Now, I'm not saying nobody wants it, because I think this is a unique release, and I think it'll be a dope release, right? I think some things could be adjusted, particularly in that, I would say, like the lat area, because it feels, I don't know how to explain it. It feels almost too smooth transitioning with the muscles, but either way, for the most part, it looks pretty good. And look, once again, you're getting a decent amount of accessories. Now, one thing that completely caught me off guard with this, I didn't realize that max power Roshi was as tall as he was. I thought he just got more brolic, and maybe if anything, he got to maybe being 6 foot, right? That should say he go from being 5'5" to 7'4". Because when I saw the size comparison with Goku, I was like, yo, since when did he get like taller than Goku by that much? But apparently he turned 7'4" when he get this buff. So calling me surprised. What could I say? There goes some more pictures. I like the blue pants right there. And some more looks at Roshi, and hopefully this comes out, great. Hopefully the QC is on point. I definitely see some, cool posing options and picture options with this particular release. There you go, GX. They didn't even, like I said, they didn't even bother to put the studio at the end, just GX. But either way, let's move right along. Now we got my personal favorite out of this whole video right here, Omega Shenron. Shout out to Korea News once again. And by the way, if like somebody's page is featured here and I forget to say their page name, it's literally because I forgot I'm into the video. Either way, man, Omega Shenron, I'm fiending for this release. I need this to drop. And my assumption, I always put this out there, I think this is Kong Studio under a different name. Can I prove it? Hell no, I can't. But my action figure instincts tell me this is Kong. Like I said, I can't prove it, but that's what my instincts tell me. That being said, let's move right along. Oh, there go Majin. Majin. Why am I blinking? Oh, Majin Omega Shenron. I'm really like just stuck on stupid for a second. Either way, we have the 3 variants. You have Dark Omega Shenron, you got Majin Omega Shenron, and then it's just going to be a standard Omega Shenron. And, matter of fact, even how it's presented here, this looks like a Kong Wave type of presentation. So I think this is just Kong under a different name. GYZ Toys post some pictures of the Dark Omega Shenron, and oh man, that might be in the thumbnail right there. That might, yeah, I might put this as y'all can see. I thought, I would have gave this energy to Zycor, but some of my hype for it has died, but I'm still very happy to have it. And then also, like, I've taken plenty of pictures with the Kong one, but this shit right here, man. Now at the end of the day, I have to temper my Damn, so congested. Gotta temper my expectations because we don't know what the QC is gonna be like. But in terms of the aesthetic so far, here's a printed out look. Here's a the scale looks to be about the size of the cooler figure. That seems good enough to me. I don't think he needs to be size of that Broly. But I did the old man laugh here. But either way, yeah, I definitely gonna be my potential Dragon Ball figure of the year. Not figure of the year, but Dragon Ball figure of the year. Out of all, oh wait, no. That Saiyan of Rage Goku. Damn. Either way, I'll think about that after this video is done. Pre-sale start now. This is the GY Toys. I'm assuming that's some type of AliExpress store. But here's some more pictures in hand. Woof. This is looking crispy. Looking real nice. Yeah, I'm completely sold. I'm getting all of them. I love it. I'm here for it. And hopefully BLOODFANG Studio does what you call it? They do the rest of the Shadow Dragons as well. So that would be not the rest, because I know most likely the only other ones that would sell would be if they did a Sen Shenron, which is very similar to Omega, and they probably had to shrink him down to about Jiren size anyway, because that was about his height when he was Sen, and then when he got Omega he got bigger. And the other two that would sell is Ice and Nova, which is basically just the same figure, just repainted metallic one painted. I'm getting ahead of myself. One painted gold and one painted metallic blue. So we'll see. And here we go. BLOODFANG Studio yet again. Android 18. This is, yo, what's up? Yo. My bad. I forgot that they included the orgasm looking face. I don't think that's necessary, but for all the gooners, go for it. Have at it. Have fun, you know. But not necessarily necessary. I think, matter of fact, when I looked in the comment section on here, there was a lot of people saying, like, is that face necessary? And one of the the guy that run the 5K Toys page, Jason, he was like, well, this is appeal to the Chinese market. I believe he said something to that effect. I could be wrong, but I remember reading something to that effect. So, you know, there you have it. If you're wondering why it's there, that's why it's there. But yeah, looks like a dope release. Hopefully QC is on point. And, you know, what can you say? On to the next thing. Bunny Officer. These names, man. Here's some more. And are these the same in him pictures? Yeah, I think. Some of this looks slightly different. But yeah, that does it for Omega Shenron. BLOODFANG Studio. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Let's move on to the next segment. Right here we have Good Morning Studio. That is to say GM Studio, and yet another set of Goku Black head sculpts. Now, while the hair sculpt is dope, I think it's great. Yo, yeah, you little light on the different face options, GM. I ain't gonna lie to you. You're a little light on the face options, so yeah, I gotta get with the program. Everybody, all the cool kids, you know, all the cool kids are adding more and more faces. You know, the minimum is 5 nowadays. That's what they're saying on the streets. I don't know that to be true completely, but you know, I kind of agree with it. You know, the minimum is 5. That being said, like, what can I say? These look good. GM is a good head sculpt studio. Not a whole lot to say about it. Like I said, being the age of Goku Black, ladies and gentlemen. That being said, let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so just bear with me. This segment, the next segment, and the segment after that, it's all going to be Gogeta stuff. So just bear with me. We're going to fly through it. Especially this. This is XH Lion. See what I'm talking about? Just letters and a name. And it's just what you call it, a face render. And to their credit, the face render looks dope. But that's all there is. That's all I have for you in terms of this XH Lion Studio. On to the next thing, I guess. Okay, this is on Hooded Kenny's page. And right here we have a render of the Black Shark model Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Now, I ain't gonna front. The Black Shark model version is the one I'm most looking forward to in terms of the Super Saiyan 4 Gogetas, and the one I think will be the best one. We'll see ultimately once everything is in hand, but I'm really feeling it. I'm feeling it. And wait, I'll probably put a picture up on the screen, provided that I remember. I should remember once I'm listening to the video, but you know, editing a video, especially videos, my bad. Especially a video that's going to be as long as this, can be tedious, and then start just skipping through a little bit. Either way, we'll see how it ultimately turns out. We have to get everything. We'll have to get some other stuff from Black Shark model to really determine the level of QC that they will have for their figures. But like I said, more Gogeta. So let's move on to the next studio. So we're on 5ktoys.com, and this is the pre-order. Pre-order still up for the New Moon Studio Gogeta Wave, and like I said, this is yet another rebranding, in my opinion, of Beast Deity, Kong Studio, whatever. What was the last name? It was Beast Deity, Kong. There's been so many names. I'm starting to forget some of the names, but they got a million different names. Just call them Legion Studios. You know? But We have this version, which is Dragon Ball Heroes version with the black pants. I love the black pants. And here we have, of course, the standard Dragon Ball GT variant. And the last one is the Limit Breaker variant. So if you peep, oh wait, you can't really see, but they actually do comparisons. They got Taunton, of course, the smallest one, DF, the middle child, and then New Moon Studio is going to be they seem relatively the same height with DF, but it's going to be a little bulkier, it seems, you know. But yeah, definitely it's been up for pre-order. But I think, you know what I think also with this though, I think the Vegetos and the Gokus that Kong released under, what was, I'm really blank, doesn't matter the name, but that last name that they were going under, I'm really blank. Oh, this is gonna kill me. Oh no, let me not speak that into existence. This is bothering me. I don't even want to say that. Either way, it'll come back to me. But either way, that Vegito wave and that Goku wave back to back, it left a bad taste in people's mouths. So I could see why this, because any other time this stuff would have, the pre-orders would have been sold out. But I think those two releases in particular left some bad tastes in people's mouths. So this could be a thing where people wait and see. But the problem with wait and see is that if it's fire, it'll be, you know, it'll be an arm and a leg to pay, so to speak, in order to get what you want. Either way. And then also, we've had several Super Saiyan 4 Gogetas. We went from having none to having a whole bunch. So that also plays a factor, I'm sure. But yeah, let's move right along. So what we have right here is the Red Bolt Studio. Yet another alias for, of course, called Beast Deity Anime Mythos. There we go. But here's a re-release wave of the Super Saiyan 4 Broly wave. So we have the Dark Face version. That's the one with the Dragon Ball large in his chest and the mask on, I believe. Since it says Dark Face version, that's what it gotta be. Here we have the black hair scorching version, which is the transparent black and red. So that's Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4. Okay, cool. You got Super Saiyan 5 with the skin color adjusted, because before they had Broly as a brother, you know, chocolate skin and everything. Now they have the adjusted skin tone with the lighter skin. So white skin, white skin version. There you go. And of course, pale skin version, pink skin version. Why don't I just call it pink fur version? Doesn't really matter, but basically Rose Super Saiyan 4 Broly. I would hate to see that. Oh, you would hate to see Zamasu coming with that kind of power. Either way, if you're interested in this, go check it out. I'm sure this is gonna be a pass for a lot of people, especially with the ZT Brolys in the mix now, because those kind of made everything else obsolete in terms of what Kong has done. ZT Broly also at one point showed off their own Super Saiyan 5 Broly, but we haven't seen any update on that. Same thing with the Super Saiyan 4. But I think I would wish that for the Super Saiyan 5 they would use that Toyable art, that Toyotaro art, or whatever art that is. Where he's a little bit slimmer. But either way, let's move right along. Here we have on Treasure Toy store page, we got VITOFORGE. Now VITOFORGE they got off to a rocky start with their Goku Black release, not because of necessarily how everything is sculpted, even though there's some things that could be improved. The main thing was the QC. The QC was real bad. Now they did a re-release version with the corrected QC, but that first wave I actually got my hands on, and the QC isn't the best. It isn't terrible for my particular ones that I received in the mail, but still not the best. And mass, it wasn't a very good release because of that. But here we have, you know, Gohan in the Supreme Kai garb. You got the anime version and the manga version. I don't remember what his colors. I swear it was always like the royal blue with the kind of like light cyan under the garb. I don't remember Gohan with the more greenish garb. But either way, I'm assuming it's like it's meant to be anime and manga color. Looks good thus far. I would say the weakest part of this figure thus far is the head sculpt. Now, It looks like they adjusted it in some renders that we're literally about to look at. Like right here, we get an up close look. See, like right from there to there, that looks like a decent improvement. Am I saying it's perfect? No, but it looks like an improvement from here to here, you know, but we'll see. And there's another, oh wait, there goes the Super Saiyan hair. I think the Super Saiyan hair always look different in general for the most part, so I don't think it should be just a repaint of the base hair, but either way, looks solid so far. We'll see how it actually comes out, because like I said, that first wave of the Goku, maybe they learned their lesson and they just take some, matter of fact, it's an easy way to avoid all of that. Just take your time with the release. Don't rush a release out. That's how you end up with real bad QC. That's the worst thing you could do, especially if you're a budding company. Don't rush a release out. That's the worst thing you could do for yourself. Either way, there goes another look. VITOFORGE, yada yada. I'm stoked for this, but cautiously stoked, if you feel what I'm saying. We'll move right along. Now we have something that I'm surprised hasn't been, actually that's not true, but I'm surprised that hasn't been done correctly yet, until now at least. We have the Super Saiyan God, you know, long hair Trunks, and I know my good man Sayori's by Do Studio. See, like I said, 2 letters and just call it a day. But I know my good man Sayori's is stoked for this. This looks pretty good thus far. I'm sure like some more detail could be added to that particular sculpt, and also I'm sure this is also very early on, so I'm not going to judge it completely, but so far it looks solid so far. I'll definitely get it. I can add it to the Super Saiyan God collection on my Forever Red set of pictures. If you've been following the page, go follow it. Bombastic Plastic underscore AF on Instagram. I'll have the link in the description. But yeah, looks like it could be pretty solid. I'll keep you guys updated on whenever this comes out, when they say it's coming out. A lot of times I be thinking, hey, yo, I forgot to say when it comes out, and then I go and look back at the post. I was like, oh, I guess there's no release just yet. But let's move right along. So what we have here is a base Goku head sculpt, and you know, this is like, okay, the opaque color, the transparent color, and a bonus head. Oh, I wonder what that could be. That'll be like Super Saiyan God or something. Either way, nah, that would be kind of lame, because then if it's just the one head, it'll have only like one facial expression. Either way, I wonder what that'll be. Looks good thus far. This is by LAOWEI. I'm almost certain this is by Recustoms, and I'm just gonna take us to the more high definition post right here. I'm almost certain this is meant to be Recustom, just once again under a different name. This looks really good. You know, I think this is a very solid, good, great base hair Goku release. But it's kind of like I said, getting to a point where you're just gonna get this stuff based on whether you like the art style or not whether this head sculpt is better than this head sculpt, because they can be based on different artworks. So it's really gonna be dependent upon that. And there we see some grayscale printouts, prototypes fitting onto the most recent body molds that we have for Goku right now. And is this the end of the video? Nah, we can't end it on this. Damn, I should have reordered the video better. Ending it on base Goku? Lame. Hold on. I think this could be it. We're gonna see. Alright. So now we have something that's up for pre-order, but also available right now. So depending on where you order from, like if you order from 5K, they get the US stock for stuff. So it's gonna take longer, therefore it's up for pre-order. If you go on AliExpress, the figure, or you go on like Hobby Model Store, the figure is already available. But what we have here is Desperate Future, the Last Warrior Future Gohan. So basically, and this is on Kuma Cookie's page, We're gonna look at some of their stuff because they have some really dope pictures. But Dragon Ball Heroes Future Gohan with the dark, you know, the edgelord kind of colors, darker colors, and then we have what I presume is actually more anime accurate colors for the regular Future Gohan. The first release I think was maybe more manga colors because they got the manga colors don't really have that darkish navy blue. They tend to go a bit brighter with the colors. Either way, see the accessories, you see everything, see all that good stuff. Cool. Now, if you got that HMX Air Gohan Beast Head sculpt, man, this is a dope kit bash. Once again, Kuma Cookie, this is a really cool looking kit bash. You can bet your bottom dollar that you'll see this as a picture on my page at some point once I get the figure. You know, I'm tempted to, yeah, I might, man, yeah, I'm going to have to pick, yeah, I'm definitely got to do it. Definitely got to do it. And here we have Hobby Model Store, some more pictures with, from, they tagged Kuma Cookie. Looks dope. Definitely. Damn, this is making me want. I'm gonna have to take some pictures after I finish. I don't know if I'm. Damn, I'm conflicted, man. Because I want to edit this video right away so I can get it out for tomorrow. But at the same time, I want to take pictures. And well, I want to take pictures after I finish editing. I'll cross that bridge when I get there. But let's move on to the last segment. And then we'll close the video out. Thank you if you stayed this long. And let's move right along. So moving right along, we got something that I believe I showed you last video, but I'm showing it again because we're on Hooded Kennedy's page, and he had some interesting stuff to say. So this was scheduled for June, for the end of June, but there was a delay according to the factory. That makes sense. It's third party, par for the course, you know. So allegedly, it's now scheduled to be released at the end of July or August. Well, we're in August now, so we know it's not July. Please don't take this as an absolute definitive statement. Something I would often say back when I was very consistent, but we gonna get back there. Anything can change in regards to third party. Absolutely. Third party. Like I made the joke earlier. If they say it's coming out in August, maybe you might see it in December. You know? And sometimes it's way worse than that. Just look at all the people that I'm not making fun of y'all. I promise you I'm not making fun of y'all. But look at all the people that pre-ordered that Future Gohan from DF. Now eventually they gave us an update saying, hey, it's using the new 4.0 style body mode, and they posted that once and we never seen it again. Once again, never seen it again. But who knows, they could be waiting for a certain company to drop something in regards to Future Gohan, or maybe it's Future Gohan themselves. We'll see. Anyways, ZL Studio Broly looks pretty good. I think I'm definitely gonna get this all three of these Brolys for sure. But I'm still looking forward to very much what Tamashii does for this version of Broly. Like I said, Tamashii, when it comes to the villain characters and somebody like Broly, they understand that the shit gotta be on point. At the very least, in terms of aesthetic, they understand that it gotta be on point. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to this as well. But with that being said, this has been Bombastic Plastic. I know it's been almost 2 months. That's crazy. But, you know, have nobody to blame but myself. You know, got some burnout, lack of motivation and whatnot. But we back, you know. And I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to talk about figures even though nobody's here with me. It's always nice to say, oh shit, my GOAT. Oh, like, even though I'm not the GOAT, I'm happy that y'all think I'm the GOAT, or some of you at least. I'm happy for the kind affirmations is what I'm trying to say. Always grateful for y'all supporting and watching. The longer you stay on the video, the more money I make off the video. So that's, you know, being transparent with y'all. You know, I try to live my life with the truth and whatnot. But yeah, truth and transparency, that's the name of the game. I'm happy to have all of you, for those that return to watch, because I know I've been very inconsistent, and I know how it feels to have a YouTuber that you like to watch, but they're just inconsistent. But with all this being said, it's been so long since I said this. This has been Bombastic Plastic. Stay fantastic. Have a blessed day. Peace!